Hey everybody, welcome to RefTime, powered by RTS and produced by Coraggio Media. I'm Tanya.
And I'm Crane. We'll be covering rules, plays, points of emphasis, and all things official. We're back with another segment of RefTime with the great Eric Koenemann.
Koenemann.
You're supposed to do it again.
Koenemann.
Koenemann.
Thanks, Eric, for coming on.
She's not doing this correctly, man. We're supposed to have a nice greeting. She's supposed to, gel with me. And
He didn't give me the script.
I was going to say, I think it might be your fault.
No, you would have caught on to that. When I
See?
said Koenemann and you said Koenemann, you would have gone back and forth.
This is why I like Eric.
Well, that's because Eric is on your level, and we're going to leave that alone. Anyway, welcome back, Mr. Koenemann, because
thanks.
We had you on. I asked for that date. 11/27 was our previous visit with you.
Yep.
Yeah, so we had to have you back because we had some technical difficulties, and we've had a lot of great things happen since.
We have, yes.
So let's start all over. How did you get involved with officiating?
Well, it all started back in my stomping grounds back in Decatur, Indiana. I reffed Parks and Rec soccer, and I loved it so much. I was like, you know what? I need to get paid for this. No,
Amen.
yeah. But it all started there, and then from there I got my ref license in soccer and in basketball, because at the time when I got my license, I could pay one fee for as many sports as I wanted to. So I took the soccer and basketball test for one fee.
You pay one fee and get as many licenses as you want. Now they limit us to 3, I think.
Yes.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
When was that?
They limit you to 3 on that one fee, but you can pay for additional licenses. So if I wanted to do basketball, volleyball, and softball, that's all one fee. But then say I wanted to throw in football, well, then I would just pay an additional smaller fee.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the way it was back then?
I want to say I could take, let's say, football, soccer, basketball. I could take as many tests as I wanted to for that one fee. Yeah.
And so
And
it's
how
changed
long ago
now.
was that?
Oh, gosh. That was back in 2012, I believe.
So about 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, that must mean that when I got licensed back in the caveman days, that I could probably take as many courses as I wanted outside of the states. Probably.
Yeah, because now to get licensed in another state, it all depends on what that state's guidelines are.
Yeah.
So some of them are, fairly easy, like Indiana, and others are, you got to go through a bunch of training and stuff like that. So or pay a higher fee too.
Right.
Yep.
And we've thought about that. Have you thought about getting a license outside the state?
I have, yeah. But with right now, my life right now, there's no way.
Yeah.
The obvious one is Ohio, because we're so close to Ohio. You could easily do some games in Van Wert. There's some smaller schools that are just right across the state line right there too.
Yeah.
Now, did you play athletics in high school?
So I did, yes. I played soccer. I tried out for the basketball team in my freshman year, and I wasn't. There was too many good guards. Okay. So the coach at the time said, "Hey, you want to be a manager?" Yeah, I'll be a manager.
Cool.
So I was manager for a basketball team for all 4 years in high school. So,
wow. Did you get a letter for that?
Heck yeah, I did. Yes. Yeah.
So did you play any other sports besides just being a manager?
No, soccer.
Soccer. Did you get a letter in soccer too?
Only my senior year.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I got. I was a 4-year letterman in basketball and then track and field, because I was manager for track and field as well too.
Oh, you cleaned up the smart way. You
Yeah.
didn't have to exert any energy.
Yeah, but it was fun back then.
So did you graduate from
Belmont? Yep.
Okay.
Belmont.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
04.
In 04. You're such a baby.
I don't feel like it.
That's what having kids does too.
Right?
How many kids you got now, Eric?
I have 2 boys.
What are their ages?
They are 11, and my youngest just turned 7.
So are they playing any sports?
My oldest is on the elementary basketball team, and I got volunteered to ref those games. So I'll be officiating those games.
What school is he at?
And I'm sure the parents are going to expect you to be 100%
Oh yeah.
accurate on all those
and get
calls.
better from there.
Right.
So what school is he at?
Frankie Park Elementary.
Both of them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got a call recently from an elementary school asking us to help them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
so we're going to use it as a more of a training ground.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've got some new people that
They
still
need to
need
get some
get
floor
some
time.
hours, get some floor time. So
That'd
when
be
they-
great. Yeah, because we can hook up afterwards, and I'll because I'm doing all of the Frankie Park Elementary games. So
okay.
yeah,
And I think they want you to do that like solo, right? Just one official.
I think,
I
but
think that's what she told me.
I thought it was one from each team is supposed to bring.
You're right. It's one. So
Okay.
if the visiting team comes, they're supposed to bring somebody, and then the home team. And from what I understand from the educator that I spoke to, they've been using basically volunteer dads
Yes.
the whole time.
Yeah.
yes,
And she said it's gotten chaotic.
Yes.
Because she actually said this to me. She said, because, I hate to say it, but some people cheat. I'm like, really?
I did it last year because he was a fourth grader last year. So because my oldest is a fifth grader.
Okay.
So and last year he was a fourth grader. So I did it last year, and believe it or not, I had to toss 2 parents from a game.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
It was horrible.
We tell our new people all the time, 3rd through 6th grade parents and grandparents
It's the
are the
worst group
Yep.
to referee.
Yep.
And you know what I thought you were going to say, and I'm glad you didn't. I thought you were going to say I had to toss one of the volunteer dads who was reffing with me. Yeah, that's what I thought you. It's like, that is really bad.
So he's gonna come out and fight you while he reffing with you.
I would almost rather do it solo.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yep.
Because, and it's no offense to those volunteer dads or anything.
They just don't know what they're doing.
Right.
Just keep it real.
Yeah.
They don't know. And you know what? Most of them would admit that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I
And they're
don't
not going to
really-
blow their whistle if the ball goes out of bounds. They don't know to do that.
Right.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah.
you're not going to know what's going on because they're not going to indicate what's going on.
Right.
So
And so, we're looking at it as it might be an opportunity for us to help them
Yeah.
and vice versa, because we have somewhere that newbie officials, those of you who are watching who are going to come on board and officiate with us, they'll have somewhere to have actually officiate an
Right.
organized game, as organized as it can be on the elementary
Right.
level. So
Right.
kind of looking forward to it, see
Yeah.
what we can do with that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what is well, actually, what do you do currently in your full-time profession in this?
I work out at BF Goodrich. I'm a salary employee. I work in our mold shop department, so I'm kind of like behind the scenes kind of guy. So I'm in charge of all of our molds that actually form the tire and make your tread pattern, make all those markings that you see on the tire. I'm in charge of all those molds on where they are physically in the plant.
So that's a little bit different. You're behind the scenes
Uh-huh.
in your full-time job,
Yep.
and you are right out in
Exactly.
the public eye as an
Yes.
official.
I'm
So
glad you caught that. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
But I got a curious mind, and she knows I do. I'm sorry, I have to go off the rails a little bit. I got to find out more about what you do. I'm sitting there listening to you talk about the molds, and what's formulating in my mind is the tires on the side, the numbers that are stamped on the tires. You have to be in charge of the molds that make those numbers too.
So it's like a mold. Okay. So picture your tire, lay it down flat on the ground. Okay. Picture that tread pattern all nice and smooth.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Picture that writing. Get rid of all that writing. That bead, pull that bead up. Okay. That's how a tire looks when it comes and gets put into a mold. So you have your bottom half of your mold. Okay. You have a bladder that gets pushed up into this tire, and then steam and nitrogen just presses this bladder out, and then you have all these grooves in this mold that forms a tread pattern, forms the writing on your tire. So let's say if it's a Michelin tire, it'll say Michelin. BF Goodrich, it'll say BF Goodrich. All your DOT regulations, it'll have that on that mold.
So you have to work pretty close with the engineers too?
No, I don't work closely with the engineers.
You don't have to work with the designers?
No.
So who designs the molds that you're in charge of?
Somebody in Greenville or France.
So your job is basically to make sure that the molds form the tires correctly, or the people that are working on them?
My job is to make sure that we have a tracking system. I am the inventory guy, basically.
Oh, okay.
So if they are in a curing press, I have to go in our system, say this mold A is in press C. I have to put it in there. So I have to keep track. I keep track of about, right now I'm up to 1,200 molds.
Wow. I didn't know there was that many tires out there. I mean, different types of tires.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Wow. So how many people in how many people in the department do what you do?
So there's just only one of me that does my job, but I have a backup.
That can't be possible because you can't work 24/7.
Well,
Other shifts, and there's somebody else that does it?
no, because I could do it just on a day shift.
Oh.
Yeah.
So at these different factories, how many different people do they have like you? Each factory has just one of you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you're kind of an exclusive guy on the job and an exclusive guy in officiating.
Yeah.
Especially when you're doing the elementary level
Yeah.
as one person.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you do the elementary levels,
Yeah.
Are you usually by yourself? Or?
Last year I was, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So this year they're telling you they're going to put somebody with you?
You know, I'm not really sure how it's going to work this year because this year the elementary games are going to be moved to the middle schools.
You're right. She did tell us that.
Yep.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting.
That way there's more space.
They
Yes.
have more
Yeah.
Yeah,
area.
because all the elementary schools, I mean, all the gyms that I went into,
The people are sitting right on the
right on
lines.
the court. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you have no room. You're
No.
tripping over them.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have more parents because everybody is bringing their child
And
you
their
know,
siblings.
and their siblings and grandmas
Grandparents,
and
yep.
grandparents and aunts and uncles,
The people you
which
have
is
to do.
fine. You know, that's not a problem. You know, the only thing I ask, you cheer for the person that you're there for.
Because it's a developmental
Bingo.
league.
Bingo.
It is. You are not trying out for the
I'm
NBA.
just
There is
laughing because
nobody
as you
recruiting
guys are
at these
saying
games.
that, he had to throw out two. The people you had to throw
Oh
out
my
were their
God.
parents or grandparents?
Two moms.
Oh.
Moms. See, I told you, moms are something else.
Hey.
The way you guys act at
That's
games.
my baby out there.
What did they do? Or what? You probably can't repeat what they said, but what they do? Or what they?
I had one mom come from one side of the gym, get in the face of another mom on the other side of the gym.
Oh my goodness.
And this is going on behind me, and I'm focusing on play in front of me. I'm like, what in the world's going on? I turn around, and they're face to face, and I stop the game. I go, you two out. I don't care what you're arguing about. We're not doing this.
So did they
That's
leave with no
embarrassing.
problem?
So I let the administrator take care of it.
Okay.
I said, them two are gone.
Mm-hmm.
What you do after you get them out of the gym, that is on you.
Mm-hmm.
I need them out before I restart this game.
Now, you know, on the elementary level, I think Fort Wayne Community is doing it right to get licensed officials in there, because if that had been a dad, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
can you see a dad throwing out moms like that? He wouldn't have felt like he
No.
had the authority, and they wouldn't have felt he had the
Right.
authority.
Right.
Wow, that's kind of crazy. So what's the craziest thing besides that you've seen in officiating on the high school or above level? Because you do what levels? You do high school?
High school and then middle school.
You do college as well?
No, I don't do college
Okay.
at this time, no.
So what's the craziest thing you've seen besides that in your career?
In my career, the craziest thing was back when I was starting out, didn't have my license, doing the Parks and Rec soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Had a soccer game. Boy goes down, opposite end of the field, plays on the other end of the field.
Mm-hmm.
I had this grandpa or dad, whatever he was at the time, 6'2", 6'3", you know, big beefy guy, had the beard like Santa Claus. So, you know, in my head it's like, oh crap, Santa Claus is coming. Like I'm in trouble here.
Santa Claus is coming to get me.
exactly. And he's just screaming because this kid's down and he's hurt and everything. And he's like, I want to know the rule, you know, rah, rah, rah. I'm like, what in the world is this dude, you know, saying? I'm like,
How old were you at the time?
gosh,
You were a youngster?
I was a youngster. Yeah. I bet you.
Early 20s?
Early 20s, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And
so what happened?
the play was going on around the goal area, so I can't stop play because I'm going to deny this team an opportunity of scoring a goal.
Which they're way
Right.
down here, and the player
Exactly.
injured is at
He's
the
not
other
in
end.
any
Yeah.
danger.
Right. So finally I look back and I was like, okay, I got a kid injured all the way down at the other end of the field. He's no danger. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to hurt him even more.
The worst could happen is he'd hurt himself.
Yeah, exactly. So finally, ball goes out of play, and then all holy hell breaks loose. I got dads, parents coming out onto the field. I got coaches coming out onto the field. I immediately toss Santa Claus, and then my supervisor, comes and helps me out, and then another dad curses at my supervisor, so I toss him. He's gone, and then I had this coach kind of yank my shoulder and kind of pull me away, and I was about to toss him,
but he was trying to help.
He was trying to help me get out of the way so that nothing. So I had to stop and think about that evaluate that one. Right. So I was okay with that, because when I got into officiating, the rule of thumb was somebody puts your hands on an official, boom, that's an automatic ejection. Yeah.
Correct.
So I had to process that one, and I'm like, okay, I know what you're doing.
Yeah, he's trying to help.
Yeah, he's trying to help. So, and then finally we get it all situated and everything, and the coaches are like, he was right. Just let him go and everything. So that was crazy. That was the craziest thing.
What age was that?
This was 6th, 7th, and 8th graders.
Yep. That's the craziness we deal with.
All right. Yeah. So what is a career highlight? Let's get on a positive.
Oh,
thank you. Let's get to the positive.
Yeah, let's get to the positive side here.
All right. So this happened this year and last year. So last year for basketball, for girls basketball, was my first year applying for the girls sectional. Mm-hmm. And I got in. And so I was ecstatic. I got into the tournament. First time applying, first time actually getting in. So, which is, for some, it is unheard of. Yes. You got to apply like 2 or 3 times before you get in.
6 or 7 or 9 or 10.
Whatever, yeah.
Telling your story there? Please, Eric, go ahead.
So, I was happy. So, I'm like, all right, I don't care where I go. Yeah. So, the draw comes, or our assignments come out, and I'm a number 6 at Huntington North. Okay.
Not too bad.
That's a real good sectional.
Yeah.
So... being the number 6, it's a 16 sectional, so I have the second game on opening night. So I'm watching the draw Sunday night and everything. Draw comes out. Okay. I see it. Homestead versus Columbia City Girls. Holy schmoly. That's the sectional championship game. Right there. Wow. And so, sectional time comes around. I get there 5 o'clock, and it's it's starting to get packed and everything. So I go in and get changed. We have our pregame, and I walk out onto the court, and I'm just and my chin just hit the floor. I'm just like, what in the world is this? What did I just get myself into?
You never saw a crowd that big?
No,
the ref in front of?
No, okay, no. But you know what? It was fantastic. Mm-hmm. Huntington North, that gym, and for newer officials, go to Huntington North and see a regional semi-state game. That atmosphere is
electric.
It is, yes, by far. And
what year was this, Eric?
Last year.
Last year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so last 2023.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep. So game going on. Back and forth game. We get under a minute. Homestead and Columbia City are tied. Columbia City's got the ball. They're just run their offense. And Homestead has a mix-up on defense and loses a girl at the basket. Columbia City lays it in. 10 seconds to go. Okay. Columbia City's up by 2. Homestead's got to go length of the court. Rod Parker calls like 3 consecutive timeouts because he's got a buttload of timeouts left. Because he wants to see what Columbia City's doing. Which is fine. Mm-hmm. So I got cheerleaders behind me. I got to get them back because it's after a made basket, you can run the baseline.
Right.
So I'm the trail on the bench side at Huntington North. Finally get the ball in bounds. Maya Epps, who was a freshman last year, gets it. She goes length of the court. She stops 30 feet. Columbia City fouls her. I'm right there. That's my primary. That's my call. Mm-hmm. Signal the 3. I go, did she really just foul her?
On a 3?
On a 3.
And they were up how much?
With how much time?
Yeah.
It was,
Probably 3 or 4?
No, it was
2.
1.
1?
Yeah, because I called the foul, and then immediately after my whistle goes, the horn sounds.
Oh, wow.
So we have time back on the clock, because my whistle was clearly before the horn.
Correct.
And I just stopped, and I froze. I'm like there for 30 seconds. You know, I could hear Homestead cheering, I could hear Columbia City booing me, and then I go deaf. Like, literally, I can't hear a thing.
Yep.
Can't hear a thing. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. You know?
I've been there. I
Just
feel
like-
you. I've been
You just
there.
froze.
I just froze.
Yeah.
I got a foul.
Yeah.
So I see my 2 partners come together. And so I go walking towards them.
And they're discussing the time.
and
Yeah.
you haven't reported
No,
anything.
haven't
yet?
reported anything.
Okay.
And my one partner is like, go report the foul.
Mm-hmm.
We're discussing how much time's left. All right. So I calm down, got the foul. We're shooting 3.
Did you get the right number?
I did, yes.
When we freeze like that, sometimes
Yeah.
we forget
Sometimes
who
we
fouled.
lose the
Yeah,
number.
no.
And I go back to my partners. Who did I call the foul?
Sometimes I call it on the offense when I meant to call it on
Right.
the defense. You know,
Right.
you look at it,
That
you're
happens.
like,
Yeah.
That
So,
but you got it right.
I got it right.
Touch me.
Yep.
That's what I'm
I got it
talking
right.
about.
I got it right. You know, and then so we go shoot free throws. We put 5/10 a second back on.
Wow.
Columbia City, Amy Shear at Columbia City, she's have timeout, so she freezes my ebs. No, it doesn't work.
you hit all 3?
She hit all 3.
How much were they down?
They were down 2.
So
They
that
have
put,
to-
that put a
That put 'em up
Homestead
one.
up by 1.
On 1. So,
Wow.
you know, we get together during one of the timeouts. I go, okay, police officers right there in that corner. My butt is running straight for that corner.
That's right.
So that was high. And then this year, I got in again, and I was at the Carroll sectional
Yep.
with the lovely Tanya Hearn.
The
We
one
didn't
and
get to
only.
work together, though.
No,
so
but-
that
Two
was
different games.
unfortunate.
But
Yeah.
that just means you guys had more games covered between the expertise of
There
the
we
two
go.
of you.
And we both, the first night of the tournament, both of our games were great games. They were very competitive.
Yes.
Right. I was there watching. You guys
yeah.
had some good games. You did.
So the first 2 nights, you know, and then we had the Friday night games, and they weren't as competitive. But you know, I mean, it is what it is,
Yep.
and so
Now, I have a question because we were at home today talking about rules.
Okay.
And since you and her talk rules all the time, you had hit me with that question before we left. I want you to hit Eric with that. And then this is a test for those watching, too. This is a juicy one. Get him. Sick him.
all right. So you got player A after a made basket taking the ball out of bounds. They can run the baseline,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
All right. So player A takes the ball out of bounds. And as that player takes the ball out of bounds, he's standing there and he looks over and he tosses the ball at you as an official.
Okay.
He just throws the ball to you.
Okay.
What do you do?
I'm not doing anything.
Are you catching it? Are you
No.
bouncing it back to him?
I'm not doing anything with that.
So are we starting a count? What are we doing?
I'm keeping my count.
Because you probably already started.
Yes.
It. Right.
Yes.
So they toss the ball over to you. You're just gonna kind of move.
I'm going to get out of the way.
Is this
Yeah.
after a made basket?
Yes. After made basket.
All right.
Yep.
So you've got your count.
Mm-hmm.
You've let the ball go. They have to go chase the ball down, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What if?
Whoa. We gotta stop. We gotta start with that one first. Because when she asked me
Because he
that,
already said he's not going to touch the ball.
Okay.
On the other hand, you
what
said
I told her,
you were going to bounce it back to the player.
yeah, because
Why?
I've had that happen, and they caught me off guard. And they threw the ball to me, and I just saw it coming, so I instinctively caught it, and I didn't catch it. I instinctively said, "Oh," and I just batted it back to him, because I guess that's from my playing days. I
Right.
saw the ball coming at me,
Right.
I just reacted,
Mhm.
and I was like, "They weren't supposed to do that." Okay, well they got it, and let's go. And then she hit me with the second part of the question.
So throwing in a little different scenario. So player A1 is taking the ball out of bounds. Player A2, still after made basket. Player A2 comes out of bounds. Player A1 tosses it to A2,
Okay.
out of bounds, legal.
Yes.
A2 then tosses the ball to you as an official. It hits you in the chest and bounces in bounds,
Okay. We're part of the court.
but you're out of bounds.
He's still part of the court.
Still
out
part of the
bounds.
court.
And that ball is, I told her, because she tried to trick me like that too, but I told her I'm off the court. I'm part of the court. The
Yeah.
ball hits me. it's nothing because I'm still out of bounds. If I was inbound, it wouldn't matter. It hit me, bounced inbound. It's a live ball. Is what I told her.
That's what I'm going with. It's a live
she
ball.
She keeps looking at me like that, like she knows the answer and we're wrong. That look. Okay, so go ahead. What?
No, I mean, it's just a scenario.
It is.
I did not have an opportunity to look that particular rule up, but
so those of you watching get to look that.
It was something that I was looking at on Facebook earlier, and I thought, you know what? Because a lot of times, players will do that, and I just try to move out of the way.
Right.
Because I'm like, I don't need to touch the ball. I've already got my 5 second. Because if as a player, I'm tossing it to him, my teammate, and then my teammate throws it at the official. Well, the official already has a 5 second count, or should, right?
Right.
So if it hits me, or if it hits the floor and I get out of the way or whatever,
right.
Well, my count's still going. I'm going to end up with a 5 second count, most likely.
Yep.
Unless they run over there and get it.
Which that depends on where I'm standing.
And depends on how far they throw it.
Right.
So
there could be a potential 5 second violation, which in turn is going to tick that coach off because
he has not taught his players how to do things.
Why didn't you bounce the ball back to the player? Well, it's not my job to bounce the ball back. You shouldn't have bounced it to me.
Now, I'll throw in one caveat to that, because you'll see some players with a higher IQ that will take that ball out of the basket and throw you that bounce pass as they're coming.
And that's in my mind, that's what was happening.
But they're still in bounds.
But that's not her situation.
She was sending the players out of bounds.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. They had already had control of the ball.
Right.
But even still, if I have a player who is in bounds, because to me, they are doing that in order to gain an unfair advantage. So they're grabbing the ball out of the out of the hoop or out of the net, whatever.
Trying to gain
advantage to toss it to me. I don't catch it. You don't toss the ball to me. You have you have the opportunity. The ball is at your disposal.
Right.
So you're just going to let it hit you and then start your count.
But you know where they
try to get out of the way. Actually,
right.
I'm not going to.
And I understand that, but you know where they pick that up is they see that on the college level, they see that on the NBA level, and that's acceptable.
They are not college and NBA players.
This is true,
and
they are not getting paid.
And I told her, and that's happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure it's happened to me where they bounce the ball to me,
and I've tossed it
back.
Oh yeah, it's a quick. Yeah.
Ultimately, I do try not to because I am not part of that play. I feel like I'm giving that team an unfair advantage.
Now, check it. Now, we were talking about this at home, and she was not happy with my answer, but I'm always right. So anyway, no, but we were talking about it, and I told her. Well, I told her that we could go ahead and not catch it, and it just go off into oblivion, and we got a 5 second count. Right. They violated.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We could do that, but I told her, and tell me if you disagree, if you agree with this or not. Would it be a better game management scenario to just bounce, like you say, catch it and throw it back, or bounce it back, or not? Because then you got to explain it to the coach.
So here's my situation with that is if you have a competitive game that the score's real close, I'm not doing anything with it.
You're not going to catch it.
No, unless they catch it out of the hoop, bounce it to me, then I'll bounce it back. But if they already have control of the ball out of bounds, as she stated, and they throw it to me, no, I'm not catching it.
Well, I'm a challenge.
I feel like it's an opportunity really to give them a warning as a delay of game. I mean, it could potentially be a delay of game warning.
You could, yeah,
because that is what they are doing.
Then if you did that, you give the ball back to them, and then you don't have chaos.
Right.
That might be a better way to handle it.
Especially if they are trying to gain that unfair advantage or throw the defense off, because the defense might be pressing, so it could be a way for them to say.
And that's a good point.
Yeah.
Because I told her when it happened to me, the defense wasn't pressing.
Right.
They had gone down court.
Yeah.
So then I was like, let me just throw it back.
Yeah.
And also it wasn't a school game. It was AAU. The kids were younger. I don't think they really knew.
Right. It just all depends on where you're at in the game,
right.
what type of situation you have.
Right.
Everything's going to depend on what type
of flow of the game,
exactly,
the temperament,
Yep.
the competitiveness, the score. I mean, you've got all that stuff, and I've caught it. I've given it back to him. I've done those things, but just seeing, I like to read some of the stuff on Facebook, and I do read some of the comments, and I'm like, oh my God, people read the rule book. Like, don't just make comments. Like, go look up the rule.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't have time to do that today. So, but I think he's wrong. As
she
usual.
Usually thinks I'm wrong. Yeah.
So.
But then we find out that I'm right, and I don't get an apology, so we move on.
I'm staying out of that one.
No, you're not. No, you're not. The way you rolled your eyes at me, you're not staying out of it. You're always taking her side. That's cool. That's cool. One day you're going to need me and be your partner in the game. I'm going to look at you when you've forgotten a player that you call a foul. I'm just going to look at you and go,
That's all right. I'll be on the sideline. 23.
23. Well, thanks for joining us again, Eric.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I appreciate it.
As usual. So what did we miss discussing? Anything?
Oh, I'm sure we missed so much in talking with him. So many other questions that we could we could go over.
We could probably spend hours.
We
probably.
could.
Probably.
But it was great working with you this year, and hopefully we'll have some more games together.
Are you thinking about moving up to college?
If the family situation allows me to.
Time allows.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would I like to? Oh, yes, definitely. But
men's or women's?
Doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
It does. You
got to choose. Can't do both.
Can't do both?
Not on college level.
Gosh, then I really don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
That's a good answer.
It is. Because once you get up there, then you decide once you go to the camps and start seeing them. Yeah.
But, first things first is my family comes first.
That's right. Amen.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, hey, we appreciate you coming on board again. I'm sorry we had
those technical
difficulties first time, but that's all right. We just got to see your pretty face again.
Hey, it is what it is.
Right,
I can't control that. But thanks again. I appreciate you guys having me on again, and I enjoy it. So thank you.
Absolutely.
So for all those that are out there that are sideline officials, and you do a great job up in the stands. We do have a class coming up in March. We would love to have you join us.
RTS, baby.
RefTrainingschool.com is where you can get registered. You can also get our information off that website if you have questions, comments, or concerns.
And
we'd love to hear from you.
I'm sorry. Well, we also have another event coming up in July. It's going to be July 12th, first day of Three Rivers Festival. We'll be kicking off at Turnstone with 3-on-3 basketball tournament under Hoosier3on3.com. So if you want to get more information about that, want to sign up your team, go to Hoosier3on3.com. With that, signing off, just saying thank you again to Mr. Eric Koenemann. Appreciate you coming on board.
Thank you.
And we'll see you soon with another segment of Ref Time. Take care. Thanks again for listening to Ref Time, powered by RefTrainingschool.com and Hoosier3on3.com. Produced by Coraggio Media, Ref Time is recorded in WELT Studios in beautiful downtown Fort Wayne, Indiana.
To join RTS, visit RefTrainingschool.com. Please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Until next time.